I think somebody had a question. Amanda
Oh,
Bean had a question about is the date for the social meant to be the week of November 23rd?
yes, that is the current plan. Depending on what like under the additional notes, if that just doesn't work, please let us know. We're basically going to try to get the biggest majority who has capabilities. But I'll just get it started with that. Howdy, if you haven't signed in yet, please do so. As the question was asked, we have two questions, just one letting us know you're here, and two figuring out what day is going to work best for our next
Hey
social.
Max,
Yeah,
that's the week of Thanksgiving.
it's the week of. So that Monday and Tuesday we have class, and then that Wednesday is a reading day, and then the Thursday, Friday are the days off. I think, right?
Yeah.
So if Monday or Tuesday works right before Thanksgiving, then that might be best. Or if everyone thinks Tuesday is best, but not on Thanksgiving, then we'll do it the week before.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. Definitely want to get any questions out. It's not going to be a long meeting anyway, so if anyone has anything, please let me know. Without further ado, let's get this started then. Just general announcements. Dues are due tonight. You can get them at ESW 2020 Marketplace. In addition to that, we have our t-shirt list up there finally updated. It should have the actual number of each t-shirt size we have now, just in case we run out again, which we shouldn't this time, hopefully, depending on how many people need how many sizes. And we're going to do a just general either 1 or 2 t-shirt pickup days at some point later this month or early November, where people who have purchased them this year can get their t-shirt. Or if you purchased one last year, but we couldn't do it because we never came back to campus, we'll also be able to give you yours from that event as well. At our next general meeting, which will be November 2nd, we will have Deloitte come and speak, which will be great. It'll be a good professional networking opportunity where they'll tell us a little bit about like what their stance is on the environment, opportunity to connect with them, maybe give them your resume. Just any kind of meeting like that's usually great because you can actually see some stuff like what's out in the market. The questionnaire in the sign-in sheet is for Social 2, which we're going to do a virtual camp out. We, as ESW, we like to do camping things on a regular basis, but this semester things have been pretty wacky about that. I did one of these with a place that I worked at over the summer, and it's actually pretty fun. You essentially just kind of have a mini camp out inside of your room on the camera. You can have like a funny background doing something else. But the main event is that you get a candle out and you make s'mores over a candle and you try to see who can make a better s'more. And you might have weird items, like someone at one point I think used like Kit Kats as the graham crackers and they threw M&Ms on it. So like people just started getting weird things from their pantry, and it's just fun to kind of do something like that. So please let us know in the forum what day works best for you, and we'll try to get all that sorted out. Yeah, especially leave in the notes if you'd rather it be that week right before Thanksgiving starts or the week of Thanksgiving starting. It's kind of like a good break in between finals actually beginning. So that's what I think about it. For project teams, hopefully most of y'all have already met at some point to discuss just the very bare bones basics of your project. If you haven't, y'all should definitely get on that, especially if you haven't chosen a project lead yet. Even if you have already, there's a really good website called When to Meet, and it basically just lets you select a time frame like, oh, Mondays to Fridays, and you can say 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then everyone you send the link to can make an area that's green about what works for them, and you can figure out when everyone can meet, or if there's certain days when everyone but one person can meet and everyone but another person can meet. And you can just basically figure out what team schedule works best for y'all. To the project leads that have been selected and the ones that haven't yet, there will be a document sent out soon from the project coordinators that essentially is going to have like, when are y'all meeting? What's the very bare bones idea of what y'all have going on? Just really simple information. It's not going to be hard, but it's just something to kind of like motivate you to make sure things are still on track. Additionally, with proposals and grants and stuff like that, ESW Global has their $1,000 grant, which only requires a very short essay / proposal. And this is a really good idea if you have a relatively small project that needs less than $1,000, because it is not only is it a way to get funded, but it'll also help you and your group kind of like figure out some stuff that you need just in terms of that bare bones, like, oh, what exactly are we doing? Because ESW is not going, the global team isn't just going to send you a yes or a no. They would send you back kind of like a feedback of, oh, well, actually, this may have been done before this way, so why not check out these resources? Or actually, that's great, and then they might approve it immediately. But they kind of have a back and forth process with you, which might be very helpful if you don't know exactly where you're going yet. You can get that at eswglobal.org/grants, but we'll send out these slides after the meeting. But if you do a Google search, you'll be able to find it. Speaking of ESW Global, the national conference is tentatively being held March 17th through the 21st, and it's actually in Buffalo, New York. Last oh God, last one we went to, which was a year ago, was in El Paso. So we drove. In this case, that'd be a 22-hour drive, which I don't think we're going to be able to top that. So essentially, we don't know how exactly we'll figure things out in terms of getting people there. They also are still trying to figure out if they're going to do a virtual, in-person, or both. So what might actually happen is some of the local Texas ESW chapters like UT Austin might actually do like their own bubble where we go over there or they come over here and we kind of like participate together through a digital event. So that way there's still that sense of community, but not having to buy, $300 plane tickets for each member that would like to attend. So that's still kind of tentatively being figured out. But the dates themselves should be set in stone. So March 17th to 21st is whenever the national conference will happen. It's a really fun time. Like, honestly, that's just been one of my favorite parts of ESW is you get to see what other groups in other chapters are doing for their projects by making posters. They'll have different speakers. Like, we got to talk to an astronaut at one of them. They'll do different activities where you get to maybe split you up into teams of people from different chapters all over the country, and then you all try to solve a specific problem in like an hour and just kind of see what happens. So it's really fun stuff that you can do just to, have a good time with ESW and see other like-minded people in just collegiate level. I also wanted to mention the posters because let's say your project is going very well and you wanted to present it at ESW Global. You can make a poster. That is highly recommended of all the chapters to have a couple of projects from their year make a poster. So like if the all-in-one soil sensor has everything labeled out already, they could make essentially just a big presentation, but on a big poster board, letting everyone know how it worked. And they have usually a day where there's a 2-hour presentation where you kind of just stand in a big room and people walk around figuring out, oh, what's your project? What's your project? And it's a great way just to talk to other people and learn something new. Another program that Global has is their Resilient Community Design Challenge, which we've never actually participated in this as far as I'm aware, but it's basically a 7-month program where you will take whatever project you're working on and try to incorporate it with something local in your community where it kind of almost takes your project to a bit more of a professional standard. So like, let's say you, like the garden table of service, which I'm not sure exactly if that was finished or not for this semester, but like let's say that the food bank really wanted that, then you could actually work with the food bank and say, hey, we're going to do a bit of research about why this is important, and then we're going to figure out how to implement it. And it would be like a 7-month long professional process instead of just kind of like a hitting it hard thing where ESW would help you with grants. They've done many things where they've like built smart systems in parks that have like different analytics. You can see in like when you go to a park, you can say, oh, how many people were here? How many people went through the water fountain? That kind of stuff. So they're looking for kind of big ideas that may not necessarily be implementable in that year, but you can still talk about them and just kind of make it more professional in general. You'd also have an ability to like make presentations, see other people's presentations, and also have possibly someone from ESWHQ come talk to you about like, oh, well, here's what we think about it. And this is why we think you might be able to do this or that, or why is it motivated? That kind of stuff. So if you ever wanted to like, I would say all the project leads should at least check out the website and see if it's possible for their project. But if not, that's totally understandable. Just want to let y'all know that it's out there. And that's pretty much it for this meeting. It's just more of a kind of catch-up idea. If you have not done the sign-in form, please do so. And if anything else, just please let me know. Are there any other questions?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
I was actually unable to get the dues through. There was a little bit of a problem. Is anyone else having that? And is there like a late fee or something if I can't get in tonight?
Is the marketplace being weird or is the link just not working?
The marketplace. I'm able to type everything in and then it just doesn't go through at the end.
Did you make an account?
Yeah, I've tried guest and make an account.
Yeah, just let me write that down and we'll figure it out. Because like, as much as it is a hard limit set date, if it's a day or two afterward due to technical difficulties, we're not gonna like, get angry about that.
Okay, sounds good. Well, it sounds like it's a me problem. I was hoping that other people would have that, so I'm sure I could figure it out.
I'm in the process of paying dues, so maybe in like 5 minutes we'll touch notes.
Sweet.
Yeah, if you have a problem, definitely just put it in the group me and we'll try to figure it out together. So that way, if there's anyone else who's having a similar problem, we can hopefully figure it out for everyone. Any other questions? If not, then that is it. So feel free to leave, send a message in the group me if you have any questions that you just didn't think of right in the moment. But yeah, this is just kind of a catch-up meeting. Hopefully y'all are doing stuff in your project groups, but other than that, good night.